everyone, my name is Chelsea and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we have 2024's first TBR to be rolled. So this is the third year, the beginning of the third year that we're going to be doing this TBR game to pick my TBR every month. And because it is January, because it is a new year, we have a few changes to the rules. Nothing too crazy. A lot of this is going to be the same thing that you guys know and love, but we have added purple cards per Presley's request, and there is some differences between like winning and losing the TBR and that kind of things. We will get into the rules in just a second because I want to go through all of the cards that we have, give you a sort of like rundown on like what everything is in case you are new to this game or in case you didn't want to go double check the last couple years videos. This is going to be the new jumping off point, the new rules. So yeah, this is a dice that I have and that I've had since Presley was like 1 or 2, I don't know, it's been a while, and we are going to be playing with it. We roll this and it has different colors. Each different color now has a different set of cards. Purple didn't, it does now. We now have purple cards. Everything is going to be like, if it rolls a red, we pick a red card and it's going to tell us a way of picking my TBR. So let's actually, I guess, get into like what the colors mean, and then we will also jump into the actual like what's on those cards for those colors. So for red, this is going to be who is going to pick my book. And so here are the red TBR cards. The people that could pick a book are my sister Riley, Presley, Elliot, my husband, a friend, a viewer. This is going to be from a comment on my owned TBR video, and patrons. So I will go on to like my Patreon or my Discord for my Patreon and ask somebody like, hey, what book should I read? So those are the people that could potentially pick a book for me. Then we have orange. This is going to be related to my TBR box. This is the TBR box. It has all of my TBR books written on sheets of paper here. And so instead of just picking one out and having to read that, we do have cards. These cards have numbers on them. They go from 2 to 5, and it tells me how many sheets of paper I can actually pick out of the box, and then I have to pick a book from that. So if I get a 2, I can pick 2 papers and I have to pick from those. But if I get a 5, I can pick 5 papers and pick from that. So this is just a few, I think there's like 3 or 4 of each number. I think there's 3 or 4 of each number, and then we pick from that. The next color we have here is yellow. These are going to be prompts relating to like the format of book. So the ones that we have here in no particular order, at least I don't think so, are indie, a wild card. This means I can do whatever I want. Mass market, a physical book, an ebook, middle grade, comic or graphic novel, manga, a contemporary, romance, horror, mystery, or thriller, sci-fi, fantasy, young adult, adult, and audiobook. So again, like I said, not in any particular order because I actually had to reprint some cards that I somehow lost during 2023, but those are yellow. Moving into the green color, these are going to be cards related to like challenge prompts. These are like the fun ones in my opinion. So again, in no particular order, an author's debut book. I get to buy a book and read it in that same month. Mood read, when this comes up, I actually won't pick anything on camera. This will just be something that I mood read through the month and I'll let you know at the end of the month. Another wild card. A book from my lowest rated on Goodreads. With something like this, I actually do look at like the top, or I guess bottom 5 lowest rated and pick one from there. A reread, an adaptation. So this would be me picking a book that has been adapted in some way, movie, TV show, etc., and actually reading and then watching that. So if it's a whole TV show, I'm not going to watch the entire series, but I'll watch some of it, but like that would be that challenge. A book over 500 pages, a new release within the last year, an author that is new to me, a TBR veteran or a book that has been on my TBR for a very, very long time, a standalone, a series that I need to continue, so this would be not the first book in a series, obviously, a book that I'm thinking about unhauling. I do have these in the back of my mind every so often, so sometimes that'll have something and sometimes it won't. A 5-star prediction, a color wheel Personally, Presley loves this one, and I do too. The first book in a series, a cover buy, so like a book that I basically just bought because of the cover, a book under 300 pages, and one of the highest rated books on my Goodreads list. So again, I'll go through like the top 5 and pick one that sounds good. Now we move into Blue. Blue is a poll pick. I actually love this one because this means you get to vote on a book for me to read that month. I pretty much only do them on Instagram right now. I have gotten away from Twitter or X or whatever we want to call it. So it usually goes up on my stories for about 24 hours, or you can always leave a comment down below. But these have cards as well, because I think the very first year I did this, it was open-ended, just vote on some books for me, and I always had a hard time picking the books for you to vote on. So instead, we made cards last year, and I really like this situation where it has colors on them. So it actually has like red, orange, yellow, and green, and that way we would pick one of those cards also for you to vote on. But because we made purple cards this year, I also made purple blue cards, so now we can also pick purple. So again, we would pick one of these, it would tell us a new color, we would then pick that card for me to pick some books for you to vote on. And so last is purple. In the past, this was weird. The first year I did this, it was a wild card because I was pregnant with Elliot and then I had Elliot. Last year it was supposed to be like Stephen King, but I had that project die off a bit. I want to revive it, but I decided purple is now going to be required reading. So basically I have books that I want to read every month. I'm currently doing a read along with a few other booktube people. I have my own book club. I have arcs that I need to read. So I made purple cards that are related to the required reading things that I know I probably have around one-ish or so that I need to do basically every single month. And so I'm hoping that when purple comes up, I will pick a purple card and be able to get those required reading books into my TBR for the month. So let's go through those. We have 12 in 12. This is the 12 friends and 12 books. I did this over on Instagram. I forgot to mention it in my 2024 goals, but I did do it. I have 12 books that I need to read throughout the year, and so if this pops up, I will pick one of those. I also have 24 in 2024. This is a 24 indie books in 2024 that was started by MJ James, and so for this one, I will just pick an indie book that I need to read. We have Buzzword. This is a challenge, again, one per month, created by Kayla from Books and Lala. I've been trying to do this. I don't always succeed every single month, but this will get that in. And then we have ARC. I have not been as good about letting you know what arcs I'm supposed to be reading for the current month. I'm going to try and start doing that this year because we're going to talk about reading plans in just a second for January. But I do have arcs, not every month, but sometimes, and I need to make sure I'm getting them on the TBR. Then we have my book club, because again, I am doing that, and every month we're gonna have a new book, so I need to get that in. Here is Stephen King. I'm gonna put Stephen King here because again, I would like to do it. It probably is not gonna be as much as I was trying to do last year, but I figured this is the best place to put him and try and get those in. I also have readathon. In case there is a readathon going on, I'm going to put this here. I'm not participating in any readathons in January, so if this pops up, I don't know, maybe I'll put reading vlogs. I forgot to print that card out. I wanted to have one for reading vlogs because I'm going to try and do one of those every month, but I'm not currently doing any readathons, but it's here. I also do have the read along because I am doing a read along currently. We have Stuff Your Kindle because I keep buying free ebooks during Stuff Your Kindle and not reading them in a timely manner. So hopefully if this pops up, we will do that. Books that I have been gifted. This was on a different category. I actually think it might have been green, but because it's not as much of a challenge card, I decided to move it to purple. I just figured this was a better category for it. Same thing with Book Box. This was another one that was in green previously, and I decided to move it to purple. It's more of a required reading category. Like, I get Book Box books. Again, don't 100% focus on those and read those, so I would like to focus on them more. Then we have Star Trek. So I have a whole collection of Star Trek books right off to the side here. You actually can't see it on camera right now. And again, I would love to read them, and I just really don't gravitate towards them by myself during other challenge cards and stuff. So I figured we'll put that in here as well. And then the last one we have is Kindle Unlimited, KU. I do have a KU, which My sister is also on my Amazon account, and she uses it sometimes more than I do. This does not mean I have to pick a book that I don't have on my TBR that is only in KU, because I do have some books that I get through Stuff Your Kindle or other things where I bought them instead of renting them off of KU. I could pick those. However, this also does give me the freedom where if this comes up, I could pick a book that's not on my TBR that is on KU and read it that way. So those are all the purple cards for required reading. Now, before we get into the actual plans, let's go over a little bit more of the rules. We're going to roll the ball. Normally, in the past, I have rolled the ball 5 times. However, Presley is currently in school, and like today, Tuesday, when I'm filming this, Elliot's in school as well. She goes 2 times a week. Presley is here because he does not have school right now, it's winter break, but he's in school 4 times a week. And so I'm at the point where I think I'm gonna be able to do a little bit more for myself, a little bit more for this channel. And so my husband, the amazing person that he is, listened to me and got me exactly what I wanted for my wish list for Christmas, and I got a dice set. This is a Dragon Age dice set. It is gorgeous, and I had the idea of taking the D12 from here. First of all though, like, seriously, they're like blue and purple and glittery, like, I love them. But I had the idea of taking the D12, which is, again, gorgeous. They have the little wolf on top, love it, and rolling the dice to see where we're actually gonna start with our rolls. How many rolls are we actually gonna do? I'm still gonna have 5 as the minimum, so like if for some reason I roll this, and I will insert a clip when we're ready to do that, if I roll this and I only get like a 3 or a 4, I'm gonna roll again until we get 5 or higher, because I do think it'd be fun to see how many books am I actually going to read in a month? How much can this motivate me or not? You know, that kind of thing. So we're going to be rolling more than 5 times most months, I think. So that's a new rule. We're going to start with 5, but like we're going to do more. One thing that I added last year is that if I roll one color 3 times, we're going to add a roll. We're going to keep that. So if I end up rolling blue 3 times, we're going to add another roll. Now that we're not just doing 5 rolls, I have a feeling that some of these months are going to get a little bit crazy. But that's okay, because I now have a new plan for reward versus punishment here. In the past, I was trying to reward myself where if I finished my TBR, I got to get a new book or, you know, whatever it is. That does not really motivate me because I am that person that if I want to buy a book, I'm going to buy a book. I have no shelf control. So I have decided instead to sort of punish myself, but in a good way, I think. We're not going to be like requiring me to unhaul books or anything like that. Instead, I'm taking a hint. I'm taking it for myself. A thing that Kyle, that bookworm guy on Instagram, was doing, where for every book that you read, you save $1. He was saving £1. I'm gonna save $1. The thing is, I have some months where, like, let's say I did roll 5 times. I had 5 books. I actually read 10 books that month, but I didn't read these 2. For some reason, I read 3 and then 7 other ones. I'm still gonna save $10 for the 10 books that I read, but anything that I didn't get to that month, so let's say it was like those 2 that I didn't get to, I'm still gonna save $2. I'm gonna save $1 for each one if it was on my TBR, if it got read or not. So ultimately, this is something that I'm viewing as a positive. I'm gonna be saving money for the books that I read. I think that's a fun idea, a good idea. I know they were doing it for like, half was going to charity, half was like going to books, like a book spree, that kind of thing. So I know I'm gonna be doing it a little bit different than he did, but at the same time, like, I think this is a very, very good idea. I love this. But I know, like, let's say I did roll a 12, and then I had three colors, you know, like I had to add things on. I had like 15 books that month. Not 100% always gonna get done. So instead of being like, oh, whatever, I missed everything, I didn't read a whole bunch of stuff, I'm still punishing myself by making me save that money, even if I didn't read it. But I mean, I'm saving money, so that's a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's a good punishment. And I think in that way, it doesn't necessarily make me have to read a book. Like, I'm not going to be worried if I didn't finish my TBR, I have to unhaul a book or I have to do something else. I'm still going to have a good time reading that month, especially if I decide to mood read something, you know, like if I change my mind about something, it's gonna be fine because then I get to save money anyway. Speaking of mood reading, this happens every so often with me. If I do roll the ball and get a prompt and pick a book here on the video, if I decide that I don't actually want to read that book by the time I get to it, I can, one, change out to a completely new book as long as it still fits the prompt, and it still counts. I'm not gonna like charge myself extra for mood reading something that would have fit the prompt. But also if I decide to read a book that I picked out and I did not like it, I DNF'd it, I don't have to pick a new book. That DNFs are 100% acceptable here on this channel. So yeah, we're gonna be starting with new rolls. We have new cards. The rules are a little bit different for like punishments and rewards, but ultimately I think everything else is going to be the same for rules. So the only other thing that I wanted to talk about is what my reading plans actually are for January. What are the books that I'm trying to read, trying to fit in this TBR, because I want to be a little bit more transparent about things that I need to read, things that I need to fit in. So I made a list. I'm trying to be on it. The first thing that I have is the read-along. I am participating in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy read-along with Mel from A Book Fiend Named Mel, Ren from The Reading Ren, Ashley from Ashley's Media Addiction, and Ash from Ash's Adventures in Reading. So I have that read-along. We're reading the first book of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams in January, so I need to fit that in if at all possible. The next thing is my book club. In January, we're reading The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. So again, this is a sci-fi, found family, queer book. That's all I know about it. This is something that I definitely want to read, and so we're gonna read it in January. This is part of my Patreon book club. I need to fit this in, again, if at all possible. Then I have 2 arcs that come out in January. One is That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon by Kimberly Lemming. I think it actually came out at the very beginning of January according to my NetGalley stuff. I have not read it yet. I need to try and fit that in. And then I also have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. This one comes out later in January, so I need to try and fit that in as well. Then we also have Buzzword, which for this month is There, There, There. The only thing I have with either of those theirs is Nailbiter Volume 1, which has some sort of subtitle with there. I'll put the picture on the screen so you guys can see it. But so that's a comic, graphic novel thing that I have on ebook, so that one is a possibility. And then the only other thing that I think I wanted to try and fit in this month is one of my 12 in 12. I have not 100% picked what I wanted to read this month, so just depending on rolls and cards, we'll see if I can fit one of those in there. So I think that's actually it. The first thing we're gonna cut to is rolling the little D12 die so that we can see how many times we're actually gonna roll the ball, and then we're gonna roll the ball and pick our cards.
Yeah.
Yeah, Presley's running around, he's ready. Okay, hello, welcome to my phone camera. We do have the D12 here, so I'm gonna roll it.
Can I roll it?
Yeah, you can roll it, I guess. Wait for me. Presley's ready. We're gonna roll it and see how many times we're going to roll the ball today. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. D12, you're gonna roll it over here. Just.
It is 5.
Okay. I guess for January we're gonna roll 5 times. You're gonna roll it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is red.
Okay. Roll number 1 was red. Okay. Roll number 1 is red, so we're gonna pick red cards.
Yay.
Okay, we're gonna shuffle because I have not shuffled since I counted and made sure we had all our stuff. We have the red cards. Which one are you gonna pick? Right on top?
Oh, it says Presley.
It does say Presley. Okay, Presley picked it for me.
Yeah.
We have Vicious Spirits by Kat Cho, second book in the Wicked Fox series,
Yeah.
which I haven't read in a while. It's YA fantasy though, and I do try and listen to audiobooks of those throughout the month, so this might be a good one to try and get on that. So for red. Okay. Oh.
Oh, it's orange.
It is orange, but the camera can't see it. Can you show the camera?
Orange.
It was orange. Okay, so roll number 2 is orange. We're gonna pick orange cards that relate to the TBR box. Here's the orange cards.
This one.
Okay.
5.
5. Good, we get to pick 5 papers. So here's the TBR box, new and improved. I just printed out like 33 pages worth of TBR things and cut them up and put them in here. We're gonna pick 5 of them and then we'll pick from that. So the first one here is Wolf Hunter River by Rachel Kane.
Oh.
This one is book 3 in a series that I've only read book 1. So if I do pick this one, I'll actually pick book 2. Number 2 is Star Trek, The First Frontier. So one of my Star Trek books. I don't actually know what this one is. Number 3. Come on. Is The Solstoy Inheritance by Jane Washington. This one does not want to focus on the paper. There we go. I think this is the second in a series, like a duology. So again, if I pick this one, it'll be the first book. Number 3, Magic to the Bone by Devin Monk. This is one of my mass markets that hides in a corner, so I always forget I have them. That one's going to be some sort of fantasy one. And then last one to choose from is Star Trek Demons. So another Star Trek book. I told you I have a few Star Trek books. Okay, so let me take a look at what I have here and I'll come right back. Okay, so I think I'm actually going with Star Trek Demons. I looked at both the Star Trek ones. I looked at Magic to the Bone, which does sound very intriguing. I definitely want to read it, but it's like 300 and something pages. The other Star Trek one, First Frontier, was like almost 400 or over 400. This one's under 300. And I think for the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a Star Trek book in my January TBR. So I just felt it was very fitting. So this is Star Trek Demons based on the outfits they're wearing here. This is obviously during the like movie time period, not necessarily the TV show time period. And it says, long before the Federation, a powerful force invaded our galaxy and almost destroyed it. A force that began with possession and madness and ended in murder. A Starfleet research expedition to the farthest reaches of the galaxy has unearthed that force once again and brought its silent evil back to the planet Vulcan. Now Spock must defeat the demons that threaten his friends and family, or the Enterprise will become the instrument of the galaxy's destruction. So yeah, I throw it this way.
It is blue.
Blue.
What's your favorite color?
Blue is my favorite. Okay, now roll number 3 is blue. So we're gonna pick a blue card, but then we'll pick another card based on what color we get. Okay, here's the blue cards. Which one are we gonna pick? Top of the deck again.
Oh, it's orange.
Okay, so we're gonna pick more orange. Okay, so here's the orange cards again.
Ooh, 2.
Okay, so you guys are gonna pick between 2 books that I pick out of the TBR box. Box is back. Like I said, I'm gonna pick 2 papers, and those are the books you're gonna have to vote between. So number 1, if I can get it off, there we go. It was stuck to another one. Graveyard Shift by Angela Roquette. This is something that I got during the very last Stuff Your Kindle, so it is going to be an ebook. Here is the cover here. I know nothing really about it except for Stuff Your Kindle is very much romance based, so this is probably like a paranormal romance in some way. And then number 2 is another thing that I just got during Stuff Your Kindle. Okay, so this is Cosplay and Confrontation by Sarah Zane. Yes. This is a contemporary, here's the cover, that I believe is a sapphic romance. So 2 very different vibes I feel like going here. I don't know anything else about these. Stuff Your Kindle is very much like I just sort of weed through things that I either sound like I would like or I would not like. And these ones both intrigued me in some way. So I will have a poll up on Instagram for 24 hours when this video goes live. Also, you can comment down below. Which one of those do you think I should read this month? Give me roll number 4. Throw it this way.
It is blue again.
Blue again. Okay, roll number 4 is blue again. So we're going to have another poll pick. Let's see what color we're going to go with. Okay, here's blue again. Top of the pile again.
It's yellow.
Oh, yellow. Okay, so we're going to do yellow cards. So far, haven't gotten any of my required reading in. which is beautiful, mostly because I haven't gotten to actually pick really anything yet myself. So even though we were only starting with 5 rolls, of course, we have things where I don't get to pick. Okay, this will be something I can pick stuff of that you guys can vote on that I need to read, but let's see. Yellow is, okay. Comic or graphic novel?
Okay.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna pick 2 things for you guys to pick because we just had a poll pick and I want you guys to have an easy time, but also at the same time, like, I'm curious to see what you'll pick. I mean, it's just comics or graphic novels. The first one I have here is going to be Nail Biter because of the fact that, like I mentioned, it's the only thing I have that has there, or there in the title for buzzword. So the tag is There Will Be Blood. So there's the there. And it is by Joshua Williamson. I know nothing else about it. I got this during a like Humble Bundle comic thing last year or the year before. It's been a little while, I have it. But so that's your first option. I would like you to pick that one, but I would not be mad if you picked the other thing that I picked. Apparently I'm on a sci-fi kick because I picked Descender Volume 2. This is Machine Moon by Jeff Lemire. I read Volume 1 sometime last year because I got this secondhand at Bookman's. I really, really loved Volume 1 and I just hadn't picked up Volume 2 yet. So you can either pick Nail Biter or Descender. Okay, one more time, unless we get blue. Again, here we go. Ready, throw. Oh.
It's purple!
It is purple.
Which is Elliot's favorite color?
Which is Elliot's favorite color. We got red, blue, and purple.
Yeah.
Purple. And then roll number 5 was purple. We actually got a purple. So we're gonna see how these new cards treat us. Okay, here's our new purple cards. Picking off the top again. Okay. Gifted.
Gifted.
So this is a book that you guys have gifted to me in some way. I don't think anything that I wanted to read right away was a gift, but that's okay. Let's see what we have. Okay, so I really debated if I wanted to do another sci-fi book or not, because obviously I've been in a sci-fi kick. I did not think I was, but even some of the required reading that I need to do is sci-fi stuff. But I decided to go in a different vein. I'm gonna go with Prince Charming by Rachel Hawkins. This was gifted to me last year by Jess. Thank you so much, Jess. This is a YA royalty romance sort of thing. I have been wanting to read this and I just haven't picked up very many YA books lately, but like I mentioned a little bit before in this video, I do listen to audiobooks in the car while I'm driving Presley around or doing errands, and I try to do middle grader YA to make sure there's nothing too crazy going on. And so this is another one that I think would be a very good YA audiobook pick. So yeah, I'm gonna pick Prince Charming. So that is the next thing on the TBR. Okay, so we do have 5 books here. These are the 3 that I have picked, and then you have 2 things that you are going to vote on. And like I mentioned before, my new punishment is going to be just saving $1 for every single book on my TBR and that I read. So if for some reason I do not read the 5 books that we have here today, I'm still going to save these $5. And I will then also save $1 for every single book that I read in the month of January. So I think that is going to be some good motivation. I also think I'm going to use like a book pot or something like that. One of these things. This is the Book of Eyes, which is from A Sorcery of Thorns, which I absolutely loved. 5 out of 5 stars. I think this came in probably like an Illumicrate or something. Yeah, Illumicrate. I'm going to probably use this to save the dollars every month, and hopefully I will actually have cash to show you. I'm putting things in here next time we have our TBR video. So yeah, I'm very excited. Let me know what you think of the new rules, new cards, if you have any suggestions down below. Also, don't forget you can vote on the 2 poll picks down below as well. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up to let me know. Subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos. I have videos coming out on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I will see you then. Bye!